in together. Oh my gosh. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I'm a certified plant-based nutrition coach living a whole food, plant-based lifestyle for health and well-being. And I can't tell you enough. It literally gave me my life back. And I know it can help you too. I just know it. So before we get started, I want to take a look in the chat and say hello to everyone here. Let's start with, let me go back 1 second. We have Jill. Hello, Jill. Jackie, happy almost Halloween, everyone. Todd, of course, is saying hello. Mona is in the house. Hi, Mona. We have, just so many fun people here. So I just want to tell you that we love the interaction that a live offers, when we're live like this, that it offers. So please don't hesitate to ask questions or make comments in the chat, because we want to connect with you. So if you're watching this as a replay, you can still ask questions and make comments, and we will respond to those as well. So happy Halloween again. So for us, Halloween is right around the corner. And, I want to talk about that. I do want to say, I was like, should I wear the vest? Should I not wear the vest? They won't be able to see my costume. But do you know what? This whole, everything that I do, try to do, it revolves around healing. And so even though this isn't a part of my costume, I felt like I need to do what's right for me. And that's why you should always do what's right for you. And I'm sure you guys can still tell that I'm in a costume. Any guesses for what it is? Put them in the chat below. Hey, John Jew is here. Hi, Jennifer and Todd. Is this a trick or a treat? Well, I'm going to let you decide. And I've got lots of stuff up here. I'm going to talk in great detail and go over a lot of it as we progress here today. So hang in there with me, and thank you so much for being here. So like I started to say, Halloween is right around the corner for us. And, in fact, many countries celebrate Halloween. And, that was something that Todd and I talked about. I said, he was saying maybe that they didn't, that it was just a US thing, but it's not. So we researched it, and that would include Canada and the United Kingdom, Ireland, which have strong traditions actually of trick-or-treating and different parties and things. There's other countries like Mexico and Colombia. They celebrate related holidays such as the Day of the Dead, or de los Muertos. Did I say it right?
You did.
You say it too.
Dia de los Muertos.
See, he loves the tongue roll. He does it really well. He practices. Anyways, Day of the Dead. So that involves honoring the deceased loved ones with, different offerings. And Halloween celebrations are also growing in popular places like Japan and even China. So isn't that interesting? So I know I asked if you know what I'm wearing. You can put it in the chat. And I just want to say hi. Deborah's in the house also. Hello, welcome, welcome. And then we have Jackie says, are you a jester? Yes, I am a Mardi Gras jester. Now, I do have these, with the glasses, it's really hard, but, this would have been my mask. So there you go. I was trying to figure out if I could wear this too, but I don't know. Not if I want to see. So anyways, that was a great guess. Thank you so much. I have another question for you guys. And even though I already said what I am, if you had a different idea, you could still share it. Like, what do you think? And I'd love to hear that. So question, does anyone know why the US and the other countries celebrate Halloween? Does anyone want to tell me why? Why do we do this? So put your answers in the chat, and we can talk about it, because that's what today's live is all about, is Halloween and how to enjoy the fun of Halloween, like the costumes and decorations. I've got a few behind me, and the community, and all without sabotaging your health goals or falling into that, like, that sugar spiral. I was going to say that all too familiar, but hopefully it isn't too familiar. But we can do this and still have a great time. So, anybody, no guesses so far? Okay, well, Halloween originally started from the Celtic celebration, marking the end of the summer and the harvest and the beginning of winter. It was to ward off like spirits and ghosts, they believed returned during that time. So the Celtics wore costumes and they lit bonfires. Doesn't that sound fun? But then later, the Catholic Church established All Saints Day on November 1st, and incorporating some of the traditions and making the previous evening All Hallows Eve, which eventually became Halloween. So the trick-or-treating part, oh, did you want me to? Okay, the trick-or-treating part of Halloween reportedly began from the medieval British tradition called soul caking, where the poor would go door to door asking for food in exchange for prayers for the dead. Wow. So in medieval Scotland, is that the right accent?
Yeah, maybe.
Scotland, there was a custom called what is it?
That's more British.
What's a Scotland accent?
I don't know.
Okay. But anyway, they had a custom called, is it gisting? Where children get dressed up in costumes to perform songs and poems and tricks in exchange for food or for fruit or for money, right? So this, of course, evolved into what is now what we know here anyways as trick or treat.
It's
Yeah.
pronounced guising.
Guising.
Like disguising.
Oh, so much better than what I was remembering. Okay, so I want to check the chat and just know, does anyone know that, why we are celebrating, even though we went and just spoke about it? I'd really like to hear if there were any comments here. So, oh, Apple's in the house. Hi, Apple. So good to see you. Hello. She says, we celebrate Halloween to sell candy, right? Well, that's the sad part. Yes, and I believe that is true these days. Mona says it used to be a celebration of the hallowed saints, which is what we mentioned. You were absolutely right. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, that is correct. Apple a Day says, oh, I'm joking. Of course, it's more serious time of year for me. Yeah, well, it's okay. Jokes are good, right? Tricks are good. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe jokes are better than tricks. But anyways, so we're also going to talk about some really fun and creative alternatives to candy that make Halloween safer, in my opinion, and more inclusive for everyone, especially kids and adults who have allergies and food sensitivities, because that's no joke either. You want to go out and have fun and then you suffer. I don't know. Doesn't seem like that's really fair. So if you've ever felt torn between staying healthy and just giving in to the candy bowl, then I think that hopefully this show is the one for you and will be helpful. So another question for you guys. Do you celebrate Halloween? And if you do, what do you normally do? Like examples would be staying at home, and greeting trick-or-treaters. Some people don't even get trick-or-treaters anymore, or go out somewhere. Like, what do you guys do? I would love to hear about it. And Apple says, do you know about the teal pumpkin? Yes, we're going to talk about that. And I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. And that's an amazing thing as well. So let me know what you guys do, if anything, during Halloween. So Halloween is fun, and people in our area, they get really into it, but let's be honest, it can be a minefield of temptation, even for us here, because candy's everywhere. It's at work, it's at the store, friends and neighbors' homes. Like we went to a party, a going away party, and and that was what, a couple of weeks ago, and they already had big bowls of Halloween candy out. So there's events. Every store I shop in, including the vet. I was there with Remy this morning having him checked, and they have big bowls of all kinds of stuff. The hardware stores. I mean, it's bad enough when you go into the stores and right when you do the checkout, normally there's candy and all that stuff. It just seems to be even like extra heavy in our area. And then, of course, you're going to get bombarded with advertisements on TV, billboards, even billboards on trucks. So you're driving, you come to a red light, and you look around, possibly there's a truck with, all kinds of stuff. So we're constantly getting hit. And so it's tough. It's really tough. Kids or grandkids, trick or treat bags are around, and at every party, it is, in my opinion, really, it's very difficult, almost impossible to avoid. So, and it's not just about the sugar. I mean, it is about the sugar, but it's about the combination of the sugar, fat, and salt that food companies use to, light up our brains, just like little slot machines. Oh my gosh, but there's no casino and there's no payout, right? That's positive. Out here in the United States, there are also terrible, terrible chemicals, like red dye number 40 or whatnot, which is red dye number 3, which was banned recently. But I think if it was still here, it's still maybe available if it was already here, but they're not bringing it in. But there's still red dye 40 and all these other yellow colors and all of this. And, that's now banned. But, in other countries, they don't have to worry about that. So there's also labels that we have to watch out for, because they say bioengineered. That's something that I was just like blown away to learn a while back. And Dr. Doug Lisle, if you guys are familiar with him, and if you're not, you got to check him out. He's a psychologist who studies the science of human behavior. And he calls the combination of salt, sugar, and fat the pleasure trap. I know some of you in the chat are very familiar, but if you're watching and you're not, it's a real thing. And it's that mix of the sweet, salty, and fatty that doesn't exist in nature normally. And that's exactly why it becomes so addictive. So if you're not familiar, like I said, with the pleasure trap, then you can get the book. He wrote a book. The book was written by Dr. Doug Lisle and Dr. Alan Goldhammer, who is the founder and owner of True North Health Center, and that's in Northern California. But it's a great book that explains it all very well. It breaks it down wonderfully. So I think we'll put a link in the show notes in case anyone wants to make sure that they're looking at the right book. So anyhow, when you eat a handful of candy, you're not weak. You're not lacking willpower. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, right? Chase pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. Those are real things. So the trick, no pun intended, is learning to recognize that you're not broken. It's our food system that's broken. So anyhow, let's take a break for a second and check the chat. Do you celebrate Halloween? And if so, what do you do? Let's see. Go ahead, Todd. You want to read that one? Oh, I do celebrate. I'll read it. It's a few days for me and my friends. A few days? Oh my gosh, that sounds dangerous. We remember people were mourning and losses that were grieving. Oh, see, so that's how you do it. We build lanterns and shrines and tell stories. Now that is a great idea. I love that. Please take Apple's advice and consider doing that if you're looking for something. I love that. So okay, so how do we stay strong and not and how do we stay strong and on track with our health goals when it feels like the whole world is covered in chocolate and caramel, right? Especially around this time of year. Well, I think it's by having some strategies in place. And so let's go over some. Plan ahead. I'm always talking about planning ahead. And what does that mean? Well, don't wait until you're hungry or surrounded by the candy to make your food decisions. If you're already full, you'll have better decision making. At least that's my experience. So, what does that mean? Have a hearty, whole food, plant based meal before Halloween parties or trick or treating starts. Something that's full of fiber and healthy, complex carbs, like a big bowl of lentil chili. That's one of Todd's and my favorites. A sweet potato bowl. That's another good one. Veggie packed stews. I love the lentil crust veggie pizza. We could even do vegetable gluten-free pastas or lasagnas that are whole food plant-based, and then have a salad with all of it and maybe some fresh fruit. So just make sure that you're really full, because when you're full and satisfied, you're less likely to crave the quick dopamine hit that sugar brings. And, brush your teeth. That's another one. Brushing your teeth can help with not wanting to eat anything, because usually the flavor of the toothbrush doesn't mix well with certain foods, and it can help with, like not wanting it all because it's not going to taste the way you think it is. Another thing is have a big glass of water, or hold a glass of lemon water, or make a glass of sparkling mineral water and put some flavored California balsamic vinegars that are SOS free in it to sip on. You can put it in a fancy glass. And keeping your hands busy holding something like a beverage, especially if you're walking around or if you're at somebody else's house, or location, that can really help. So it's much healthier. It can help with not being able to pick up that piece of, I'm going to call it nonsense, but candy or whatever. So keep healthy treats on hand. Make yourself something special that feels festive, but doesn't wreck your progress, right? So think frozen banana pops dipped in date caramel and rolled in crushed nuts or not, right? Whatever is your jam. Pumpkin spice bites, those little bites, I've made those recently, or they were in one of our cookbooks, and they're made with oats and dates. You can add the pumpkin puree, not pumpkin filling. Pumpkin filling is not pumpkin puree. So if you're doing that and you're buying it in a can, just make sure that you know what you're getting. And always check the ingredients label. Or even my favorite whole food plant-based, I love caramel apples made with dates and plant milk. And I like it plain. My mom's a big fan of nuts, so crushed walnuts, if you like, grapes, even the roasted chickpeas, or you can air fry them. Those are fantastic. So these are fun, delicious things that can help you stay satisfied, and your sweet tooth can get indulged, right, just naturally. So anything in the chat, Todd, about is Halloween a trigger for you? Did I even ask that? Is Halloween a trigger for you guys? I'd like to know. And so I see Marilyn is here now. Hi, Marilyn. Happy Halloween. Almost. Yes. And John is here. Hey, where's the candy corn at, right? Good question. You won't find it here today in my house, but yes, you will see a lot of candy corn. I do believe that there are recipes to make a cleaner version, although I didn't do that today, but that's a good one. Caracara oranges are coming into season. They're so good, sweet and low acidic, says Apple. And yeah, we've got a lot of the cuties, and I'm going to share about that as well. So anyways, are there any other strategies that you've used, I'd like to ask, to stay on track with your whole food plant-based lifestyle during Halloween? Anything that I didn't mention that maybe would be helpful? So while I'm waiting to hear about that, I'm just going to say, another thing is, for me, this is really a real helpful thing. Out of sight, out of mind, really. So if you are going to buy candy for trick-or-treaters, here are some things that might be helpful for you. Wait until the day of Halloween to buy it. Don't buy your personal favorite or what used to be. Okay. So in the past, I'll share, in the past, if I did buy it ahead of time, I would buy several small bags, and then I didn't open any of them until I actually needed to start handing out some candy, of the candy that I had. So this way, for me, if the bag is sealed at that point, this was going back many years ago, even when my kids were younger, I won't get into it if the bag is sealed. And if I'm buying something that I don't even like, then I'm less likely to even want it, right? Also, if I only have a small bag open at a time, then it's less likely that I'm going to get into it. And then if I didn't give all of it out, let's say, I had a few bags left that were unopened. Well, I always kept my receipt. And then that night or the next day, I can go and return any unopened bag with my receipt. So nowadays, I don't even buy bags of candy. We usually don't have trick-or-treaters on our street anymore, or very few, because they've all grown up and a lot of the same people still live here. We've lived here quite a while. And so we enjoy going to other areas, or handing out other things that are, better, right? So some of the things that I can offer, if I am going to, I'm going to talk about this later, but, some of these, like these are little stickers, little packs of stickers. And we've got, little bugs. This is a fly, or, rings. This one looks like a Christmas ring and they light up. I know we have spider rings that are over here in this drink, bracelets, necklaces, these glow sticks. Those are fun and the kids really like those. And so I enjoy doing that. Even some of those little fruit bars, I know we talked about this last year, I think. They sell at Costco and other places. They're called That's It bars. If you want to get something, and it's literally just like mango or strawberry fruit leather type of treats. So anyways, so let's check the chat. What other strategies do you use to stay on track? And let's see what we have here. Jill says, I used to buy candy I didn't like. Perfect. I mean, perfect. And if you're still buying candy, and maybe it's you've got kids or grandkids and you're going to events, or you're told whatever, work, whatever. Exactly. You can still use that strategy now. I love that. Thank you for sharing. So here's another question. I'm kind of loaded with questions right now, but I just feel like I need to chat with you. If you're engaging with your own children or grandchildren, how do you make it fun for them and keep to your own whole food plant-based focus? Like how? Do you guys know? I am going to say focus on the fun and not the food. So coming up with other ways to celebrate, and please feel free to answer the question or put in, some other thoughts. Carving pumpkins, right? I do want to mention this pumpkin. This is not a carved pumpkin, and Todd was in charge of putting the face here. And I was like, honey, why did you put the eyes sideways? But for him, he thought it looked great, and I do too. And so the reason why we didn't carve this so far is because this is an organic pumpkin, and I'm actually excited to cut into it and cook it and, do the seeds and everything and eat it. So this is just paper right, honey? You just paper, and he cut it into the shape. Last year when we had our youngest grandchild over, we put paint on a pumpkin. We weren't going to eat that one, but you could do stickers. There's all kinds of things that you can do. And if you didn't want to carve one, my youngest daughter, she does not like the inside of a pumpkin, but it's fun. So you can be creative that way. Another thing is watch a spooky movie. And whatever age you're involved with, if it's grown-ups, you can get crazy with, scary, spooky stuff. Little ones, you can find, more friendlier. I don't think Casper the Friendly Ghost is a big thing these days, but you know what I mean, right? Get dressed up, and go out in the neighborhood. I enjoy, and I would recommend if you enjoy watching the little kids, your family or even just people in the neighborhood, go out and check out their costumes. I know that when we have over the years, had trick-or-treaters, that was something I used to get so excited about. So when they came up to, trick or treat, whatever, and whatever we were giving out, I would always say, "What are you? Tell me what you are." Because I got a lot of joy in knowing. And then, they would say, "Oh, I'm, whatever they were, a witch or, whatever." And it was just fun. Go to a dance party. I'm all about a dance party. And you don't even have to go anywhere. You could just like hang out in your kitchen and, get it going on. Or you can even leave the area, walk to an outdoor mall or other area. We have an area about 15 minutes away where there's this outdoor, they do this year round, so it's not like a Halloween thing, but they have outdoor music. They have big fire pits, and it's kind of like a mall type outdoor stores and shops. Yes, if you're living where the snow is, this isn't going to work to be outdoors. But for us, or, if you can think of something that would work for you, go ahead and do that. And then there's restaurants in there that in the past we've enjoyed before when we didn't have the grandkids and our kids were either away at college or they weren't around. Maybe they were with their friends or whatever. There were a couple times when Todd and I said, "You know what? We don't really need to do it this year." And so we went and enjoyed that. So another thing, I was going to do, dress up your pet. Remy, I don't have him in costume right now, but he did dress up and he entered a dog through the veterinarian Halloween costume contest. He's done it before and won one time. One year he didn't win, and this year we dressed him up, and so we'll see. I don't know, but so how we submitted it is we put him in a costume and we took some photos and we made a video of him, and he was dressed up as his vet, which was really fun because we just love her, and so that was really a treat. And they offer a contest, and he, like I said, he won before. What he won? He won a $50 credit to his account. So I took him there and I let him pick out some healthy dog treats that he used part of his credit with. That was really fun. And another thing that we've talked about doing is going into an area a few hours away. There's a ghost town, Jerome, and enjoying tours and dancing at night. So my point is there's lots of options to do, I think. So when you focus on joy instead of the food, then you realize, hopefully, that you don't need the sugar to feel the magic. You can have a good time without it. So, okay, so let's check the chat here. Jackie says, for our grandchildren, we always got them fruit, Halloween-themed toys, etc. Yes, I love it. What kind of fruit? Did they have like a favorite fruit? Let me know. And Apple a Day says, is it an eating pumpkin? Are you talking about this one? Not all modern pumpkins are for eating. Most are decorative. This is an eating pumpkin. We got it at Natural Grocer. It's organic and it is meant to be cooked. And yes, you're right. And some of them will say like, I forget what's the sugar. There's sugar pie or something. Todd's looking at me like he has no idea. When was the last time you cooked a pumpkin, honey?
Never.
But thank you. Yes, that's a good point. Sometimes you can also at farmers markets or going out to the fields, you still should check to make sure that they're meant to ingest. So anyways, okay, now let's talk about something that I learned that Apple a Day brought up. I learned about this a few years back, and it's called the Teal Pumpkin Project. Now, I actually went looking for a teal pumpkin and couldn't find one. But you don't have to get a teal pumpkin. You can get a pumpkin and paint it. Okay. But what am I talking about? So, this is such a beautiful movement that was started by FARE, FARE, and that stands for Food Allergy Research and Education, that promotes fun for kids who have food allergies and special diets to ensure that they can enjoy the holiday without candy. And because that can make them really sick or have allergic reactions. So here's how it works. Okay, so if you place a teal pumpkin on your porch, then it signals to families that you're offering non-food treats. And we talked about some of the things that I do, and just to go over again or mention a few others: stickers, glow sticks, what I said, mini bubbles. Those are always fun. I don't have any right now. Crayons, little packs of crayons. Pencils, yes. I mean, the Halloween pencils, I don't know that that's a big hit, but you can do it. Temporary tattoos, awesome. People love those. And small toys like the bouncy ball or the spider rings. Another thing you can do, and I have done before, is, they have like bags of little treats, not edible things, but those kinds of toys that you would normally put in a piñata. And you can buy a big bag of those and not put it in a piñata. You can give that out as well. So I personally have never been directly involved with this program, but I did learn about it through my daughter years ago. And I guess you can even register your home on the official Teal Pumpkin Project map, which I checked out, and you can find that at foodallergy.org if you're interested. They have so much other information on their website, as well as things that help adults in the workplace or dating with food allergies, just all kinds of things. So check it out. And if it's something you're interested in, it's not too late to go ahead and sign your house up. And then, when people can look and map out where the homes are ahead of time in their area. So, but when getting involved with the Teal Project, or choosing even to offer fun treats that aren't edible, I think that it helps shift the focus from the junk food to just joyful connection, right? So if you're a parent or a grandparent like me, this is, I think, a perfect opportunity to model that health is something to celebrate, and it isn't singling you out or not having, a great time. So any questions? No questions. Okay. So let's just talk a little bit about last weekend, a couple days ago. We went to a hot air balloon event, and it did have candy and lots of junk. But the focus for us was the 23 hot air balloons that were all lit up and all blown up on this big field. You could walk through all the big balloons and watch them, put the fire in there. You could pay if you want them to take you up just a little bit and bring you down. We didn't do that. We just enjoyed walking around, but they had music, and then they had a haunted path. We walked it. It was high school kids that were actors, and they were in their chorus. They took chorus, and they were set up to act to scare us. So I opted to hold one of these glow sticks. They cracked them, and they had a bowl, and they said, anyone who doesn't actually want to get scared, hold one of these, and then they won't touch you or rah in your face. So I was holding one of these, and Todd, he was like, no, I want them to get me. So Todd welcomed all of that kind of fun stuff. So haunted houses, that's another fun thing to experience. So you can go to professional ones, which I've done before, but over the years, we've gotten together with some of our neighbors or drove to homes nearby that had truly amazing haunted houses they created just, out of their garage or their homes. It was really, really fun stuff. Do you have any memories you want to share about that, Todd, about the haunted houses that we did?
No, some of these people are truly dedicated to making their house haunted.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So I just want to check the chat. If engaging with your own children or grandchildren, how do you make it fun for them and keep the focus for yourself on whole food plant based? Oh, I see Plant Power Peddlers here. Hi there. Happy Halloween. I'm glad you're here. So you can put that comment or, answer in the chat at any time. Okay. Reminding ourselves as adults and also being able to show the kids that holidays don't have to revolve around processed sugar and that food can still be fun, colorful, and full of flavor. So you might make a spooky fruit platter, ghost bananas, clementine pumpkins, apple slices into fangs. Create a make your own monster oatmeal bar, right? With nuts and berries and seeds. And if you don't have time, you can buy some of this stuff at local farmers markets or even look in your grocery store. Just read labels, right? You can host a costume party with a pumpkin carving contest instead of candy exchange. I mean, you just got to think out of the box. So, I want to talk about some of the food that's in front of me. And so I had a lot of fun making this stuff. So I want to make sure you guys can see it. So I'm actually going to move this out of the way. Can I give that to you, sweetie? Okay. So I have this platter here. Can you guys see this platter? It is loaded, loaded, loaded. And I'm going to talk about all these different things that are on it that I created. And I'm going to hold up some of them. And it's a heavy board, but I just wanted to say it, it doesn't have to be hard to do. So I took, and if you're interested in me making any of these, let me know, because I left a lot of the ingredients and things out so that we could play together if you wanted to. So check these little cuties, these little oranges. I just peel these little oranges. They're easy to peel. And there they are. And then this little top, a piece of celery. Ta-da! And it could be as simple as just that, or you can get a little crazy. And let's see these over here. Oh, let me see if I can turn this. Whoops, let me move this. Da, 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 da. I want to be able to show this. These over here are the same thing, except the faces are made with little pieces of cacao nibs. These organic raw cacao nibs. I just poke them in there and so you can have little faces if you want little faces. You can have the plain ones. You can have the little faces. Let me see if you can see that. It's cute. Or you can melt some chocolate, which I did here. And I used the date chocolate chips. And you can just paint on a little chocolate face because I know, well, my kids, they always loved orange and chocolate together. And the ones that I used are called Just Date, and they're date sweetened. This says organic milk chocolate. They have a dark chocolate. I think they were out when I got these. But if you look at the ingredients, there's no dairy or milk in it. So anyways, and they do have other ones like Enjoy and other brands who I want to say when I melted that, it didn't melt as well as some of the other ones, but I didn't add anything to it. I just took some of the chocolate chips. I put it in here. This is like a double boiler kind of thing. It's still warm. I put some chocolate chips in here and I just kind of melted it. And so, I'd rather have the date sweetened. So I was okay with it being a little messy. Okay, other things that I have here, pomegranates. And you know what? A lot of this fruit, it just, the colors make me feel like Halloween, spooky, right? Blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, all the berries, grapes. We've got, like I said, the pomegranates, and then sprinkled some seeds. Check these things out here. You can buy these already made, or you can make them yourselves. Orange slices, dehydrated. Doesn't that make you feel spooky? It made me feel spooky. These are not the bright yellow color, but these are apricots. You can dip these in the chocolate or just leave it like that. They don't have any sulfates in the ones that I like to buy for myself, so they look really, really dark. Todd likes the other ones that are bright orange, and they would stand out more. So that's another thing. Look at these. Aren't these cute? These, I got to bring this closer up. This is let me see. Hold on. Can you see that? It's a cucumber. Too far? There, is that better? It's a cucumber. So I took this cucumber, this English cucumber, and I cut it into, a piece like that. And then I took let's see where it is. I took a grapefruit spoon because it's got the sharp edges, and I just went around and took all the seeds out. And that's supposed to make the cucumber look like, scary. And then I put little eyes on it. Now, you can do chocolate chip eyes, you can do candy eyes, you can do googly eyes. These are not edible eyes. These are paper eyes. Todd was in charge of making. Do you want to share how you made these? Come on in here with your hat and let people see you for a minute. So I wanted to show you. I loved these. And I tried to put the eyes on in different ways to see if they're looking different ways, But I mean, if I'm going to serve this, I'm just going to tell people, enjoy this. Don't eat the paper eyes. Go ahead, honey.
I think my head is
Come
way
down.
above.
Look at this hat.
I'm on my
Isn't it
knees
great?
now. There we
You
go.
don't have to stay on your knees.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I messed
Can you
it up.
hold that for me, please?
Yes,
Thank you.
I can.
The paper eyes are just paper eyes. It's just,
But what exactly did you do?
I just printed out a black dot on a piece of paper, and I used a hole puncher to make them round.
Oh, I thought these look like you hand colored them. You know.
Apparently I'm not that good with a hand hole puncher.
No, I mean the black dot.
No.
Oh,
no,
really?
I just printed-
Okay.
Yep, just
So,
printed dots on a paper.
Very cool. So, and that worked out. And I think you had some extra ones somewhere.
Yeah, they were around here somewhere.
But, because they're different size. He did different sizes. So that's cool. Thank you so much.
It was just a quick way to make eyes.
Yeah, and you're welcome to stay here. I'm just going to keep going. So these are bell peppers, the little bell peppers like these here, organic. We just buy a bag of them sometimes, or we get them at the farmer's market if they have them. I just took a few different sizes. I cut the tops off. I'm going to pick one up here.
I feel like I'm a puppet show.
Oh, I wish I had the strings.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Okay, so let me show you this. Can you see that? I always worry that you can't really see it. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what this is I just cut the top and I kept the top, and then I decided to mix the colors, but it's just like a little top. And then I took a knife and I cut little shapes, so I've got the two eyes and I've got a mouth here. These are triangle eyes. And then I put a toothpick through all the way through so that you could look kind of like Frankenstein pepper.
Like a pepper jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah, and then I was collecting all the different colors, and so I started putting in like the orange cutout eyes in the red one, and then I cut out this one. I kind of cut the shape of a mouth because I was hoping to be able to put some teeth in there, but I couldn't figure out a way to get the teeth to stay in there. And so how I made the mouth on the other ones is I literally just took this stainless steel straw and I just did that, cut it, and it didn't get stuck in here or anything. So that was really fun. And then I also have, my grandkids love this. Oh, well, I should also say, so those were whole. And then while we're still on peppers, I cut some of them in half down the middle and did the same thing. This one you can kind of see, it looks like a mask, and I did not cut the top off. It's just fun, fun little ways to just have a good time. And so that's what I was going to talk about, skewers. I mean, how fun is this? My grandkids love when I do this, and they love to do it too. Remember, we put these on a birthday cake recently, and it was the biggest hit. And they didn't just take them off and eat them. They took them off, they ate some, they rebuilt them, they took them off, they wanted to build more. So I do have some piles here where you could just grab them. But, I also have this. This is like my leftovers. And I just have these little, what are these? Skewers. And then I just already washed these. And I just, put them down here. I leave a little bit so you have a handle. And I just did different colors. These grapes, they came in a pack, one pack that had the 2 colors. So that was fun. And so look at how simple. I mean, even if you have, some people I'm friends with, they can't, they're having problems with arthritis or movement of the hands. This is simple enough. And you can do this. You don't have to have little kids to do it. You can be a kid yourself. I love doing this stuff. I was having so much fun getting ready. So let's see. There's a couple more things to share, and then I will get back on track. So any comments so far, honey? Did you want to read?
Apple says I look like a short little gnome. I thought you would find that humorous.
That is great. That is great. Okay, so let's see. And Mona said, love those. What a great idea. I'm glad you love them. So, and I do too. And this is fun. It's really fun. In the middle here, pumpkin seeds. These are raw pumpkin seeds. You can do spicy pumpkin seeds, any kind of seeds that you want. And then I have some crackers, not everybody wants to just have fruit and vegetables like I enjoy, but I have these crackers, and you may be familiar with the Mary's Gone crackers. I recently saw Sid Nodder share about these crackers at Aldi's, and she lives in the East Coast, or Midwest, I'm sorry. And she said, these are a better deal. They're the same thing. And so we found them and we got them. And I did. The box size looks the same. Look at this. I just thought, for a second, I'll show you. But this box says 4 ounces. This box says 5.5 ounces. This ingredients is in the same order, exactly the same ingredients: brown rice, quinoa, flaxseed, sesame seed, tamari, and which has water, soybean, salt, vinegar, and sea salt, organic. Same thing with this one, exactly the same thing. So the serving size I thought was interesting is different. This one is 4 servings per container, 12 crackers, 5 servings per container, 12 crackers. But of course, that's because this one has more ounces in it. So at any rate, they were like a couple dollars cheaper. And our Aldi's said that this is seasonal. So if this is of interest to you and you hadn't heard that from her, see if your Aldi's has it. I was surprised to find, we almost didn't find it. And then we asked somebody as we were leaving, and he's like, oh yeah, it's on this end cap where we didn't look, like the only place we didn't look. So, and then if you're into cheeses, like I know Todd really enjoys the, some of the whole food plant-based or the plant cheeses, not all of them. And I don't have a new one, but I can grab and just show you. Have you guys heard of Rebel cheese? It's kind of pricey. So I don't have any of that, but you could, put some of these on nuts for cheese or make your own. Gosh, there's a million recipes. This is a smoky Gouda, and it's organic, dairy-free, and it's fermented cashew wedge. And this one is the same company, same thing I just read, except the flavor is black garlic. So these are other ideas that you could put on here if you were wanting to, bring in something else with those crackers. But you could also skip the crackers. You wouldn't even notice or miss it. Now, I got just a couple more things, you guys, that I'm really excited about. Look at this. Look at this. Do you love my apples? Can you see that? I loved these. Aren't these fun? So I'll tell you how I did these. Okay, I took a green apple. You could take any color apple, and I cut it into quarters. And each one of these is a quarter. And then I cut out carefully, because you could see the back. It's cut like a quarter. I cut out a wedge, which happens to be here, right? This wedge. And then I filled it with, we have almond peanut butter, or almond butter. I'm sorry, it's not peanut at all, but whatever kind. And then I took some strawberries, which I have some here on the platter whole, and I sliced them. And then that's the tongue. Can you see that? And then in the roof of the mouth, I put some sunflower seeds. So they're like teeth. Can you guys see this? Todd, is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I took a little bit of that almond butter and put it on top of the, on the bottom of one of these date chips to make the eyes. So we have a couple that way, and then we have a couple that I still use the almond butter, and Todd made those eyes, and that's, paper ones that you don't want to eat. Aren't they fun? So I also wanted to say, if you don't want to do this, my kids, like I mentioned, love the orange chocolate. So I took some of the leftover. I didn't use the rest of that little bit of chocolate. So I dipped some orange in chocolate, and I just decorated the platter. And then the last thing that we've got going on here, banana ghosts. Ooh, look at that. Bananas. So what I did was I took one banana. This was one banana, peeled it, and then I cut in half, kind of zigzaggy. I cut it in half, and then I zigzagged it and ate those little pieces. And then took some of the date chocolate chips and melted them, and that's it. That's the eyes. So, and I made a couple of these earlier, so I put a little lemon on them. I did that with the apples too, so that it doesn't oxidize and change color, and they're great. So I'm going to hold this up again, and then I'll show you what's in the middle here that I didn't talk about yet. But isn't this fun, you guys? Here, let me move this so you can see, really see. We've got ghost bananas, we've got the apples, the dipped oranges, and then this huge platter, right? This is not in a fun glass, but I do have a ring on there that is a spider ring. But this is a smoothie, and I'll tell you what's in it. It's called the grape goblin smoothie. You can have smoothies and you can make them fun colors, and it is not going to harm you. So I'll tell you what I put in this. I put plant milk. I use soy milk, whatever plant milk you want. I don't have measurements right now because I just kind of did this the other day. I should write this out though, but I'll tell you what's in it. We've got banana, date, plant milk, chia seeds, vanilla bean powder, and then I put in mulberries. If you don't have mulberries, the purple ones, if you can't find mulberries, use blueberries. That'll be great. That's what gives us this purple color. And then I also added some green powders, right? So I had some sample powders. What are they called? Chlorella and a green combination of just like powdered greens. I like to put regular greens in here. I could try it next time and do half and half. I just thought that it might make it so dark that it would take away from the purple color, but do what works for you. And the chia makes it really thick and kind of globbish, but it's really good. And then you can pour it in one of those spooky cups, with the hands or whatever. We don't have. We used to have them. I think one of our kids took them, which is fine. They probably brought them. So that's that. And then the last thing is I have some date caramel. You guys like this? I'm sure you've heard of it. Let me tell you what's in that. This has, and I can tell you how to make this one. I took 10 dates. This is the ingredients. 10 dates, a cup of soy milk, a teaspoon of chia seeds, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla bean powder, okay? I took the dates. I soaked them in water for, I don't know. If you want it to go fast, use warm water. Here's the water because I'm going to save it and use it later to sweeten something. But what I did was I soaked it in there, and then when it gets nice and plump and soft, I peel out make sure you take all the seeds out. You got to peel that out, and then go ahead and add everything into, I use the NutriBullet. Just put everything in there, blend it up, right? And I use soy milk. You could use coconut milk. I don't want to personally because of the fat in it. So coconut milk will make it creamier and thicker. That's why I use the chia seeds. So when I first whipped it up, it was a little runny, but I waited a few minutes and now it's great. And I took the pieces that were in our little silly apple things and I kept them. I put a little lemon juice so they're still white, And, you can dip in here, or you can take a whole apple and put a stick on it, make caramel apples, dip the whole thing. You can roll it in, gosh, anything, right? Coconut, if you like that. You could even roll it in flaxseed, chocolate chips, oats, anything, or leave it plain. It will be sticky, so eat it right then. And then that's it. So, I've been, every year we get Halloween trick-or-treaters. And sometimes we get people leaving candy here, or somehow we get candy from the grandkids or whatever. Neighbors give us back. I mean, so what I do with, I don't buy it, I collect it, and then I would give it out the next year. And I so don't even believe in doing that anymore, that I want to just dump this out with you right now. Will you get me the trash can? And if you have any candy that is lingering around in your home, take it out. Let's throw it out together. And if throwing it out isn't going to work for you, then get it all wet. And then just, dump it. That is so freeing. That is so freeing. And I don't have to give out that garbage to the neighborhood kids, even though, because sometimes I would be like, well, I can't force people to do what I want them to do. And even though I don't have to do it and I already have it and I wasn't buying it, that was like my thinking. No, I have all these other amazing things that I shared with you. And that is what I'm going to do this year. And I'm going to just grab it again. Whoops. And that is, these kinds of things. Now, if you're into, I'm going to talk about the Who bars in a minute. So anyways, let's just check the chat. Apple says, Mona says, what fun looking platters. Thank you so much. Apple says, Jennifer, you found your niche. You're a food stylist. Thank you. I mean, it's just fun stuff. I wish we were all close together. We could do it. I bet Cruella, like chlorella in her smoothies too. Ooh, that's a good idea. Yes. And Apple says, I like to dip apple and pear slices in cookie dough hummus. What? I want to try that. I don't think I've ever tried cookie dough hummus.
We're going to try it. That sounds delicious.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what types of treats or desserts do you make for yourself that you enjoy? Or maybe that you want to make now that you've seen some of these ideas? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Another thing that I have done in the past for myself is I plan out what my special treat would be. So maybe it was a homemade whole food plant-based dessert or a cupcake or cookie or even a dark chocolate bar from Hue or Justine's brand. They make the dark chocolate peanut butter cups, or even making your own at home, like some of these things. Just knowing that I had something to enjoy if I decided, or the pressure gets me, the pressure, it's like less pressure, and it's really helped greatly. So I would plan out how much of that clean candy or dessert or whatever it is that I was going to have. And I also would usually have it at the end of the night after all the open candy is gone or already given out. Then I would have it if I was going to have it. And then I would brush my teeth again. Or there's nothing else because it's over, right? So there wouldn't be anything else, any more for me to get into or think about later. So even having a little sprinkle of, date sweetened chocolate chips on some banana ice cream. Hey, if you're home and you could do that. So you can, wherever you are on your journey, you can make this work for you. And, I remember we went to some neighbor's house. They were having a party. We all, congregate outside in the neighborhood. They sometimes close, some of the areas, and they bring out tables and food and candy. And it's just, this was my little secret, not this one, but whatever my little secret was. And I would have it in the house. And when I was ready, and this is going back a handful of years ago, I would just come in and I would bring my little, even if it was one square of something. And that was like my treat. And I didn't feel deprived. And for me, it didn't trigger because it was gone. Now I would rather do this, but wherever you are, that's just the point that I want to bring. So now I know that isn't for everyone. Like I said, it can be a big trigger for some. So you have to be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself and don't do anything that you think would sabotage your efforts. It's just not worth it. So anything in the chat. No, okay.
There is nothing in the chat.
Nothing in there. Okay. So, okay. A few other things and then we'll get going because I know we're coming to the end here and I appreciate you guys hanging out. You can also talk to yourself in the mirror the day or the day before or the evening before things begin to remind yourself of your why. Why? And I think I have a video on your why, which goes into detail if you're not interested in that. Do I not, honey? I know that I've done a talk before.
I don't know that we have one published.
Oh, we don't have one published.
Yet.
Okay. Well, anyways, why is the reason behind why you're doing what you're doing. So you need to know what that is. And then you can rewrite it. You can read it, carry it in your pocket, share it with a loved one to help ensure your reason so that you don't sabotage things for one. It's not even a whole day. Well, I guess it could be. Whatever it is. Okay, we'll say a whole day because if you're at school or work or whatever, but then the evening. Here's another thing. Remember the saying, this too shall pass. I can't tell you how that saying has helped me through many of my medical surgeries, through my recovery, and it can help me even during a Halloween event. Because the next day, it will all be behind us or behind me for another year, right? I know we're going into a domino effect with other holidays, but if I plan it right, or if we plan it right, and we could still have lots of memories and fun times to remember after it's over and not worry about the sugar high or the dips or the low or the headache or, the regret, all of that. Okay. And I know the holidays can stir up emotion. So maybe Halloween reminds you of someone who's no longer here, or your kids are grown and you're feeling nostalgic, or sometimes, that emotion can drive us straight into the candy bowl. So if that happens, please be gentle with yourself. It's being aware that matters and not staying stuck in it. Not telling yourself, I blew it, so I'm just going to keep eating whatever, all this junk. No, just refocus. Go back to what you know. And then move on, because you're amazing and you can do anything you set your mind to. I believe that to be true. And I also really, honestly, guys, I believe in you. I believe in you. So a few other things you can ask yourself, what am I really hungry for? Sometimes it's comfort. Sometimes it's connection, or just the feeling of being part of the fun. Food can't fill emotional hunger. Food can't fill emotional hunger. But connection, compassion, and community can. Okay? So here's my challenge to you this Halloween. Let this be the year that you enjoy the holiday without guilt, without pressure or perfection. Have fun. Stay kind to yourself. Keep your values intact. And remember, you can absolutely celebrate without sabotage. Okay. So Todd's saying, come in here and look at the chat. Yes. Which one, honey? This one? Okay. Apple says, I like Well Your World's oat cluster recipe, but don't make a whole batch. I make 2 cookies at a time. Okay, so that's great. You found something that you enjoy and you don't want a whole big thing, right? and so you're making a smaller amount. I love that. I love that. Mona says, I like Chef AJ's jam bars using fruit instead of jam. Awesome. Awesome, Mona. And you guys, I mean, I know you can freeze it. You can give it away as gifts for the holidays if you did make a whole bunch, but if it doesn't work for you, this is great. And then let's see what else. Oh, okay. Apple says, when I feel like I've messed up, I stop, pat myself gently on the heart. Oh, you do? And I say, there, you are loved. Oh, let's all do that. Let's all do that. There, you are loved. I love that. I love that. That could make me cry because it's true. We have to be kind to ourselves. And I know that self-talk is so important. And I know that most people, we don't talk gently or kindly to ourselves. And so I just love that. Thank you for sharing that, Apple. Mona says, you are so sweet, Jennifer. Well, thank you. I feel the same about you. And John Juice says, great message, Jennifer. That's where this whole food, plant-based journey is taking us. Grateful for you and Todd and everyone on this call. Thank you. And then Marilyn says, let's celebrate. And I agree. So I hope you found this live helpful. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my website, at thejenniferdimond.com, and subscribe to my monthly newsletter. You can grab a few free recipes and reach out for coaching needs, as I would love to help you in any way that I can. So please share this video with friends who might need a little extra help or encouragement this season, if you know of somebody. And also, if you don't celebrate Halloween, you can use these tactics, these suggestions, these ideas to help you anytime throughout this upcoming holiday season or year round. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, with us together. And I just want to say, did you want to say anything before we close out? Any last words or requests?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween from our house to yours. Oh. Yeah. Oh, you okay there?
It's a little rough on the knees, I gotta be honest. You have to find a shorter hat.
I love that. And Jill says, thank you for your show. And Mona says, thank you, Todd and Jennifer. Apple says, yay, Todd. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here.
Yes. And so, through all of this, I have to say, don't forget to eat your greens. And as I always say, please give plants a chance. Take care, everyone, and happy Halloween. Todd is going to move us out now. Thanks for staying a little later. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time. Be safe and be kind.